Title: Rich People Don't Show It. The Power of Quiet Success and Slow Living. There's something peaceful about people who don't need to prove anything. They walk into a room quietly and somehow everyone feels their presence. Not because of what they wear or what they own, but because of how calm, kind, and grounded they are. Today, I want to tell you the truth that many people don't realize. Real success doesn't shout. It whispers. And the richest people, the ones with true wealth, often live the simplest lives. Before we begin, take a deep breath. This story isn't just about money. It's about peace, energy, and the kind of wealth that you can't see, but you can feel. So stay with me till the end. And if this message touches your heart, remember to subscribe not just to the channel, but to a calmer way of living. The silence of true wealth. There's a man I once met at a coffee shop in New York. His name was David. He wore an old gray sweater, jeans that had faded from time, and shoes that clearly weren't new. He smiled gently, ordered a black coffee, and sat next to the window, quietly watching people rush by. When he started talking, there was no arrogance in his tone, just calm. Later, I learned he owned several companies. He could buy that entire cafe if he wanted. But he didn't. He laughed when people assumed he was an ordinary man. He told me, when you stop needing to show off what you have, you start to actually enjoy it. That sentence stayed with me, because we live in a world that celebrates noise. But the truth is, real power is quiet. The richest souls aren't trying to look rich. They're trying to live free. The shift toward simplicity. More and more adults in America are starting to feel this change. The endless scrolling, the constant showing off, the fake smiles and perfect photos, they've all become exhausting. That's why the trend of digital detox and slow living is rising. People are realizing that being constantly online is not the same as being truly alive. When you take a break from screens, you start to see life again. The sound of birds in the morning, the taste of fresh coffee without a phone in your hand. The beauty of just being still. Rich people, the truly wise ones, they understand this already. They spend less time posting and more time living. They don't care how many likes they get. They care about how much peace they keep. A lesson from Emma. There's another story I remember. A woman named Emma lived in a small house by the lake. She wore simple clothes, drove a small car, and spent her evenings reading or walking with her dog. Most of her neighbors never knew she was a millionaire, until one day a storm hit their town. Electricity went out, roads were blocked, and people needed help. Emma quietly opened her doors. She gave food, blankets, and power from her generator to everyone around her. She never told anyone she was rich, but her actions spoke louder than words. Kindness revealed her wealth, not money. That's what true richness looks like. It's not in showing off your house. It's in having a home that welcomes others, the humble energy of the rich. Watch how calm rich people are in a restaurant. They don't shout, they don't rush, they speak softly. They tip quietly, and they thank the waiter like he's family. They don't measure people by what they wear, but by how they treat others. And that's a reflection of something deeper, inner peace. Because when your soul is rich, you don't need the world's approval anymore. You see, real wealth isn't about owning more. It's about needing less. The price of showing off. I once knew a man named Ryan. He bought expensive cars, wore gold watches, and threw parties every weekend. He said he wanted to feel successful. But one night, he told me quietly, "I don't even enjoy any of this. I just don't want people to think I'm small." That sentence broke something inside me. Because that's what social pressure does. It makes you feel like you need to look rich, even if it costs your peace. Ryan wasn't poor in money. He was poor in peace. And peace is something you earn it through silence, gratitude, and self-respect. Slow living, the rich man's secret. The truth is, slow living isn't about being lazy. It's about being awake. Rich people often live slowly. Not because they don't have work, but because they value time more than things. They wake up early, walk in nature, read books, spend time with loved ones, They know life isn't a race. It's a balance between doing and being. When you live slowly, you notice the small things, the sound of rain, the warmth of sunlight, the laughter of someone you love. These moments don't cost anything, yet they're worth more than gold. The beauty of being unreachable. Today, everyone wants to be available 24/7, but peace begins the moment you learn to step away. How does it? For one morning, don't you touch your phone, make coffee, sit outside, and just listen to life. That's what rich people do. They control their attention. They protect their time like treasure. They don't waste it on endless scrolling. They are rich in focus, rich in calm, rich in control. The mirror of humility. There's a quiet elegance in humility. It's when a billionaire holds the door open for a stranger, when a leader listens more than he speaks, when a successful woman compliments another instead of competing. Humility doesn't make you smaller. It makes you real. The people who have everything and still act like they have nothing to prove, those are the ones who glow differently. Their wealth reflects through their peace, their kindness, their ability to stay grounded. When the world is spinning fast, the emotional truth, we often chase things we think will make us happy. A bigger home, a better car, more followers, more recognition. But happiness isn't a destination. It's a state of peace that lives in the present moment. I've met people who had nothing in their wallets, but had peace in their hearts. And I've met millionaires who had everything money could buy, except sleep. So if you want to feel rich, don't count your money. Count the mornings you wake up without stress. Count the nights you sleep without worry. Count the moments when your heart feels light. That's true wealth. The change we need. We are living in a world that tells us, do more, buy more, post more. But the soul whispers, rest, breathe, be. The new rich are not the ones who flaunt wealth. They are the ones who control their peace. They live simply. They disconnect to reconnect. They choose small joys over big noise. They are proof that slow is not weak. Slow is wise. The old man's story. There's a story I'll never forget. An old man once sat beside a young businessman at an airport lounge. The young man was loudly talking on the phone about deals, profits, and cars. The old man smiled and said, "You seem busy building a life. That's good. But don't forget to live it." The young man laughed. "I'll relax when I'm rich." The old man paused, looked at him gently, and said, "I thought the same. But by the time I got rich, I had forgotten how to relax." The young man fell silent. Sometimes wisdom doesn't need to shout. It just needs to be heard once. The power of enough. Rich people have learned the value of enough. Enough food, enough comfort, enough peace. Because when you always want more, you'll always feel poor. But when you appreciate what you have, you'll realize you already have more than most. So take a look around your life. You may not have millions in your account, but maybe you have something rarer. A peaceful home, loyal friends, and a heart that still knows how to care. That's wealth in its purest form. A quiet reminder, if you're tired of chasing, if your mind feels noisy, if your heart feels heavy, slow down. You don't need to keep up with everyone. You just need to keep peace with yourself. And when you do, you'll see how naturally life gives back. The calm people, the kind ones, the ones who don't show off. They're always the richest in spirit. So next time you see someone living simply, don't assume they have less. Maybe they have everything that truly matters. Closing reflection. In this noisy world, peace has become the new luxury. Kindness is the new power, and humility, the new crown. If you've listened this far, maybe your soul is ready for a slower, calmer life. Maybe you're ready to stop chasing and start living. So take this message with you today. Don't just exist online. Exist within yourself. And if you believe in this way of living, subscribe to this space where we keep learning how to live with more peace, more purpose, and more quiet strength. because real wealth isn't about being seen. Thank you for listening. Take care of your heart and live gently. Make sure to subscribe to get back to me again.